President Trump has signed a bill to keep the government running for 6 more months. The bill cuts $13 billion in non-defense spending across all federal departments and increases defense spending by about $6 billion. President Trump praised Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for helping pass continuing resolution. He now faces backlash from his fellow Democrats.
I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there is a wide sense of betrayal.
Schumer explained why he voted yes on the bill, saying it's a bad bill, but a government shutdown would grant President Trump more power. Tonight, to talk more about economics and politics, we have Dr. Farhad Sabatan from Cal State East Bay joining us. Thank you for making time for us today.
My pleasure.
So we just hear about this deal that's being worked out to have the budget go on for 6 more months. Senator Schumer receiving a little bit of backlash for that. Was this the best case scenario in light of everything that's going on to give lawmakers a little bit more time to work out a budget?
Well, I'm afraid the budget itself is problematic because, as you stated in your report, it's going to cause a significant reduction in government spending. And when governments stop spending, that basically means job losses. It means lack of public services. It could lead to recession. Essentially, it reduces the total demand in the economy. And government is, of course, one of the most some effective stimulus into the economy. So what we are going to expect is that in the long run, once the budget is actually approved, then we expect some recession and we expect some reduction in productivity.
Now, talking about recession and productivity, we've been hearing about these tariffs for so long. They're supposed to go into effect on April 2nd. All of this rhetoric, though, there's already been some impacts to the economy and productivity. Are there any ways to work this out here? Do you see these tariffs really going into place on April 2nd?
Well, some of the tariffs since February have gone into effect, but the problem is that these tariffs are becoming retaliated, and therefore, one country retaliates and we have to retaliate. It turns into what we call a tariff war. Tariff war is in no one's interest because what it does is that it causes the prices to go up for both countries. Consumers are worse off, the economy is worse off. And most importantly, it creates a sort of uncertainty in the stock market. As I'm sure you've noticed, the stock market has lost about 8% since its high in February. This is a loss of exceeding like $4 trillion in market value. Investors are jittery when there is uncertainty, and that is one of the most important impacts that I can see on the economy.
Now, the Dow having its worst week since 2023 this week. There is supposed to be a Federal Reserve policy meeting scheduled for this upcoming week as they contemplate interest rates. What are we looking for them to do here this week, and what would be the best case scenario?
Well, the best case scenario would be not to raise the interest rate because the interest rate is already high. That's impacting the housing situation and borrowing and many other things. The interest rate, if they can contemplate keeping it at the level it is, or at least reducing it by a little bit, it could help with inflation and it could help with the economy. At least maybe the private sector, the investors could make up for the loss of all kinds of government jobs.
Now, I know it's hard to look in the crystal ball, but there are a lot of things going on. In your expert opinion, are we heading towards a recession? Where are we going here?
Well, if I were to bet on it, it seems to me that given the tariffs and the threats of the tariffs, which creates uncertainty, that definitely is pointing towards a recession. How deep the recession is going to be all depends on how deep these tariffs and budget cuts are going to be.
All right, Dr. Sabatan with Cal State East Bay, thank you for your time tonight.
My pleasure.